Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Raw and Uncut back with I think episode 5. I hope you guys, whoever's watched, the few of you that have watched and are paying attention to what I'm doing here, I appreciate you. And if you've watched, then you know what we've been talking about, which is kind of just like some real life stuff from my childhood, from my teens all the way through up to now. I'm jumping around kind of, we're doing it like Goodfellas style, we're doing it like casino style, when the movie kind of jumps around in different timelines. Like I said before, my path here and my destiny here is not a linear path. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going straight. We're jumping around a bit, and that's really the only way to kind of get the bit of everything that we want to talk about. Now, I started this real quick because people, when I was doing Uber and Lyft out here, folks, sometimes you get into some long rides with people, 20, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes 50 minutes if they're really extra long rides that are paying well, right? Which are very few. But yeah, you get some time in the vehicle with the rider, you're being professional. Five-star driver, given thousands and thousands and thousands of miles, made pretty good money doing it when I was doing it. But the point is, we get into conversations and people ask, they see my Red Raider hat on or they see my Black Raider hat on. They ask me where I'm from. And, I tell them where I'm from. I'm from Fresno, California, born and raised. And they're like, oh, yeah. Like, yeah, but I ain't lived there in a few years. It's been a while since I've actually lived in Fresno. But I'm originally born and raised from Fresno, from the gutters of Fresno, from the streets of Fresno. Not a motherfucker that just passed through, not a motherfucker that was just in it for a minute and got out and want to have something to talk about. This is, it was my whole life. It was my whole life. I was born into it in a really messed up way. But talking to these people, these writers, they'd ask questions and it would lead to certain things. And I start talking to them, and a lot of these people are like, man, why don't you put this stuff on YouTube? Like, the dogs are tripping over there. One of them, she's pregnant. My brother's dog, she's a bully. She's pregnant. And I hear her barking out there. So I'm going to have to pause this real quick so I can let her go. She's a bully. She's having puppies. So not at this minute, but sometime soon. But I got to pause this real quick and I'll be back. All right, I'm back, man. Sorry about that. The dog had to get out. I was actually the two male dogs. The female, she's actually just chilling right now, man. She's just by the minute, she's blowing up. So yeah. Also, if you know anyone that would like to purchase some Gotti Line Razor's Edge uh, bullies, they're not the pocket bullies. They're like the mid-sized bullies, and they're, like I said, they're Gotti Line Razor's Edge. And yeah, anyways, and pretty good price, fairly cheap. Not trying to get rich off of them, but know what they're worth and want them to go to good homes. But anyways, back to what I was talking about, the task at hand here. And so giving so many rides to people, get into some stuff about your background and people find it very intriguing. And a lot of them, thousands of them over the last 3 years have told me, you should do this, you should start, you should start, you should start. So I've tampered with it and stuff like that, but I think this is what we're going to be doing from now on. We're just going to take it all and mix it into one platform. There's a few other channels I've had, and there's, there was a channel I had on TikTok that blew up, and it was very controversial, but what I'm saying? We'll talk about that later. But what we're going to talk about today is basically, so that's the reason why I got into this. But now what we're going to talk about is that, you know, there, I did music for a few years. When I was in the street game, I took some of them, I just did the Easy E thing. I followed his imprint and his blueprint because Easy E really set it off for all these entrepreneurs now. He's the one who showed people how to do it. As far as when it came from music business standpoint, and he was very sharp to the game, and he was very intelligent, and he was on point, and he was ahead of the game. But see, when I started doing music, I got connected with some people, some lawyers and stuff, and they plugged me in with Suge Knight. And then went down there, had a couple of meetings with Suge, with other rappers. It just wasn't us one on one. It was a group of us with a couple of lawyers and stuff like that. Very, very interesting experiences down there. at the same time, I end up originally coming out of there with nothing. But then upon, another week or two, it was, it was a deal, and it was a done deal. And we were going to start pushing some of our music through the Row records, because Suge Knight had dropped Death. So I got mixed into that. I already had made a little name for myself with the music. Uh, on the street, I pushed a couple albums out already. Actually, one, and I was getting ready to drop another one when I met these people, and started messing with Suge and all them. And it didn't last very long though, and it was kind of just a bunch of bull. We got some money out of it though, but it was just kind of all just messed up the way everything happened, because as soon as we signed, he went back to jail and he went back to prison. So it was fucked from the gate. And it wasn't because he wasn't going to try. It's just that he didn't have the chance to. So I always have the utmost respect for Suge, and never ever going to talk down on the dude. I got some money out of it. I really didn't produce anything because we never had time to. But it was good to know that he believed in us, and he believed that we could help him in a resurgence of the road, and stuff like that. So because of that stuff, and because of my little name on the street, and I was dealing dope and was kind of out there, a lot of people knew who I was, because I sold a lot of weed, I sold a lot of coke, I sold a lot of crack. I was just tied in. My brothers were tied in. My homies that were tied in everywhere. And Fresno's not that big of a place, so everybody kind of knows everybody, and families know families, and there's a lot of family beefs. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, and there's a lot of generational beefs and stuff like that. But I started to do my thing, and people started to notice me. And I'm driving. They see me driving a Lexus or a Navigator, and they're not really my cars, but I'm being taken care of at the time. And then I'm driving old school Chevy pickups, which were mine. Cutlass Supreme, Cadillac, starting to drive different vehicles, and people already know I'm making money. And then my CDs are ending up in the laps of dudes that are doing time that I got personal private beef with, and they don't like it. They're hating on it. And you know what I'm saying? I was known everywhere. Homeboys that were coming out of prison were coming directly, and they would fuck with me. I would front them some weed, or just give them weed, or give them money. You know what I'm saying? $50, 25 bucks, $50, fucking half ounce of weed, a quarter of some fucking blueberry kush, and like $50, some coke and like $50. That's all they wanted. None of them were really trying to get straight. They just, we were just part of that game. And that's the way the street game is. You know what I'm saying? You take care of your people the only way you know how. It's not all about money. Some people don't want money. And if they're your people, they're your people. And they're doing whatever. You don't just turn your back on them. You know what I'm saying? In the street, you got to remain who you are, who you were before you started making money. You know what I'm saying? You want to know the truth about a man. It's that saying is so true. It's not when he's broke, you ain't really gonna see who the person really is, who the man really is. It's when he has some kind of notoriety and starts making some money, and the money's changing his life, but does it change him? You know what I'm saying? That's where you can tell. But so basically, I started to get well known, and then we did some stuff in Fresno, where Suge was supposed to come down. He didn't come down. He wasn't able to. He got arrested the night before. We are supposed to have a show back in 2003. So a lot of things happened. We kind of went our separate ways after like 2 years. So like '04, I'm having a conversation. At this point, I done many shows. I've been in the street for years. I'm very well known by a lot of people, whether personally or from someone else knowing me and whatever, and I know them, and it's like a web. Um, but people know who I am, and weird things are starting to happen. Like weird things. I'm starting to catch drama and haterism from a few different ways, and some things started to happen. There was a lot of things that people tried to do but never really got done to me. Thank God. They attempted to, but it didn't come out the way that they wanted it to. Because I'm a good person, I'm a good soul. I've never done anyone wrong, and anytime I've ever been involved in something, it's because that person already had that shit coming to them. It's cliche, but it's the truth, and that's the way it is. Anybody that knows me knows, what kind of person I am. So all of a sudden, man, I got homies that are in prison, people coming in and out, and it's kind of the revolving door. When you're in the street, you're gonna rub shoulders with homeboys that are locked up and coming in and out and shit. You're gonna have that connection if they're your people, regardless. You know what I'm saying? If they're your people. So Even if they ain't, you know, somebody that's connected to that, or family members, or a girl, or something. Everybody's connected to the prison system. And so homies, you know, are going in there and telling people, yeah, that some of my boys that are locked up are telling guys that are rappers in there that I'm looking for talent, because now people are looking at me and I'm still releasing music. I'm still dropping music. I don't release, you know, a couple albums and a compilation at that moment with them. The compilation was a joint get down with some of the people I met through Suge and the Lawyer, other rappers who are really good people. Good people turn out to be some good people, some not so good, but we won't talk about those. But yeah, so you know, I just I remember going to talk to one of the lawyers. You know what I'm saying, let's get into the story. I remember going to talk to one of the lawyers, and we used to go down to the security bank way up there up top, and you know, I would just go check and see what's going on, because there were still connections through distribution companies. And after I stopped fucking with them, I went on my own and I had two distribution deals on the table, one with EMI Latin, and one with Universal. And um, Arthur Coy was kind of hooking that up through a friend of mine. But when I sat down with the distribution people and we started talking numbers, I was very cocky at the time, because I was making a lot of money in the dope game, and I was making money off of my music, and I was doing really well, and I felt I was getting ready to get where I needed to be. Um, and I don't know, you know, things just start happening. So, anyways, I go down there to talk to the lawyers, chop it up with them, see you know, what's going down, because the distribution deal with these two cats fell through, because they were willing. First, they offered me $3 per CD distribution deal. Of course, I provide them all my stuff mastered and mixed, ready to go, ready to be fucking mass produced, and my artwork and everything. And then they mass produce it, put it in the stores, and then they cut me off a piece of my shit. Right? It's a distribution deal. It's a classic distribution deal. Um, they offered me $3 to open up with. I pushed them to 4, and then when they agreed to 4, I got a big head and I said, well, fuck, if I can get 4, then I'm gonna get 5. I'm gonna try to get half of my shit with these folks. They're gonna put my shit in the Best Buys and then the Walmarts and all this shit. I already have my stuff. Like at the time, there was a place called Tower Records, and I have my stuff in a few Tower Records. I have my stuff in Fresno Tower Records off of Shaw, and then I have my stuff in Tower Records in Washington, Oregon, down in LA, different parts of the state too. And my stuff was getting off in the mom and pop shops that way. Um, Once my stuff got on Coco 94, Latin hip hop and killer oldies, it really took off, and people really started to pick up the stuff. So now weird shit's starting to happen. I go down and see the lawyer. We're talking. He asked me if I know this guy, this rapper that he done met. And keep in mind, during this time when we were fucking around with the Suge thing, we were doing stuff in Fresno. We were holding concerts and stuff like that, and we were having rap battles and shit. And I was coming across, because I was the A&R right there. I was actually more than an A&R, but I played A&R for that. You know, I was part of the original 4 dudes that had started the with the Suge connection, 4 rappers from Fresno. Right, it was me and 3 other dudes, 3 other homies. One of them I'm still very close with to this day. He's like my brother. I'm saying he is my brother. We've been through a lot together, but that's another story. And you know, we just kind of it getting out there like that, and everybody knowing who you are, it brings weird shit to you. So I'm talking to the lawyer, and he asked me if I know this dude. He's a rapper, and I'm like, what's his name? And he says D Lansky. And I said, what? He goes, D Lansky. He says he knows you. And I said, I know who he is. I said, I've never met him, but I know who he is. I said, he used to go by D-Loke. And then, you know, the lawyer homie says, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, his original rap name was D-Loke, but D-Loke, the reason he changed it, because the original D-Loke from 415, you know, he was biting a lot of his stuff. I heard his first album, which I liked it. My brother bought it off him at the old Payless on First and McKinley. He was standing in front of the Payless grocery store out there when there used to be a Payless. If you remember the Payless drugstores and stuff, you know, he was standing out there selling his tapes, and my brother bought it, and it was Dogs for Life. It was D-Loke presents Dogs for Life. That was the name of the tape, and it was dope, and we bumped it. And that's what I told homeboy. I said, yeah, that's what it was. I said, but he had a song on Dogs for Life where he bit the whole like verse from a D-Loc song on 415, which was, anybody that knows about hip hop and Richie Rich and 415 and all that, and D-Loc and them, then your if you know your Bay Area music, then you know what I'm talking about. Your California music, you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I told him. It's just keeping it real because now at this point, he's not calling himself D-Loc anymore. He's calling himself D Lansky, and he's connected to some homeboys in Fresno. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no punks and ain't nobody to fuck with. Just like a lot of homies there. You got a lot of different hoods and blocks, and everybody's. You go fucking around with them, you're gonna catch some shit. So I'm not down talking dude in any way, shape, or form. And that's what I was telling the lawyer. I'm not down talking him. I said I think he's a dope artist, and I like this shit. I bumped this shit. Used to bump it in the house, slump it. We thought it was cool that there was a homie from the town, a homie from the town that was putting it down and sounded good doing it. And but when I heard the song on the tape, I remember telling my brothers, "Hey, that's D-Loc." That he was calling himself D-Loc too at the time. So I told the lawyer this, and the lawyer took it as, "Oh, Rob's talking shit." And he goes and I didn't know, but he goes and calls dude, I guess after I leave there, he goes and calls dude and tells him what I said. And dude, he ain't no punk, you know what I'm saying? But neither am I. But I'm not saying anything that ain't true. But unfortunately, what I'm saying is something that people don't want other people to know. But when you're a hip hop dude, you're a rap dude, and you put stuff out like that in the town, and if you've ever heard it, you've seen it. I'm not the only one that knows this or heard it, but some people were like, I'll tell you what happened. So that he tells the lawyer calls him and tells him all kinds of stuff. I didn't know this until my phone rang about 20 minutes later. My phone rings, and I don't recognize the number, and it's back when we had them flip phones. It was in 2004, 2005, and I answered the phone, and I was like, "Hello," and some dude's like, "Yo, I want to speak to Rob D," and I said, "This is Rob D. Who's this?" He said, "This D Lansky, this D Lansky Bulldog," and I said, "Oh, what's up, D Lansky?" And he's like, "Hey, homie, I want to get at you on some shit, you know what I'm saying? Because, so called me and told me you was talking shit about me, homeboy." And I was like, that's how he approached me on the phone. He straight up verbatim. He said, told me you was talking shit about me, homeboy. And I was like, I said, I was talking shit about you or I was telling the truth. And he goes, what the fuck you mean? I said, well, you say that he told you that I was talking shit about you. And I'll tell you right now that I got you on the phone. I ain't never met you, homie. And I'll tell you like I told him, as far as a rapper and your music and everything, I ain't got no personal beefs with you. I didn't say anything that wasn't true. And he's like, well, what the fuck you talking about, homie? You over here saying that I changed my name and I ain't really D Lansky, I'm D-Loc. I said, that's not what I said. I said, what I said was your original rap name was D-Loc. I said, am I wrong? He's like, nah, homie, that's what my name was. And I said, yeah. And I bought, my brother bought your tape and I bumped the tape, Dogs for Life. He got it from outside the Payless over there on First and McKinley. Back in, I told him the time frame, whatever. He was like, yeah, yep, that was me. That's what's up. And I said, so I wasn't talking, I didn't call you a sorry rapper or nothing like that, bro. I didn't attack your craft. I didn't attack you personally. I said, what I said was that your original rap name was D-Loc. And I know because of the tape Dogs for Life. And when my brother bought it off you, I know what you look like. I know who you were. And that you changed your name because you were calling yourself D-Loc and you had a song where you copied D-Loc's verse on one of the 415 songs word by word, the whole first verse. So I said, you changed your name because now you can't be known as D-Loc because that's somebody else. So that's why I said, I figured that you changed your name. And his response was, yeah, even if that's the case, you don't got to be talking about it, homie. And I said, I don't got to be talking about it. I said, well, he asked if I knew you. And I'm going to keep it a buck, bro. Like, he asked if I knew you. What am I supposed to say? You want me to say some bullshit and be like, oh, yeah, no. And then behind your back to other people say what the hell I told him? He said, but you didn't know he was gonna come at me with that. You didn't know he was gonna tell me, homeboy. And I was like, bullshit, because I know him. And I know how he is, and he likes to stir up shit. I said, but that's my brother. So you think this is the first time he tried to stir up some shit to try to test me? See, he's tried to test me numerous times. Man, I was so tested with this cat. He must have tested me 2 and 3 fucking times until I did something. We'll talk about that another time in another episode, or maybe I'll make part 2 of this. So I just told him that, and he was like, I understand and I respect you for that, my boy, but to be honest with you, just don't be talking about that, my boy. Don't be telling people about that, my boy. That's nobody's business. You hear me, my boy? And I said, I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. He asked me if I knew you. That's how I know you. And he's like, all right then, my boy, I'll see you. And I said, it's all good, bro. No, I said, no harm, no foul. He's like, yeah, whatever, my boy. He was just very, he was angry and he was pissed off. I didn't feel like I did anything for him to be pissed off. Why should me keeping it a buck be disrespectful when it's the truth? That's the problem nowadays, is people don't call out bullshit anymore. They let it slide in all parts of life, in all situations and experiences. People ain't real anymore. They're fake. And because I didn't want to be fake, or I didn't want to bow down to the dude, it pissed him off. But what could he do more than that? I mean, if he wanted to try to fuck me up, at some point on the street because they roll deep or whatever, that's fine. But a lot of the folks that know both of us, I think that they know what kind of dude I am. They know what kind of dude he is, and I didn't really disrespect the guy. I had nothing but respect for him because the dude is a great artist, man. He's got a good look. He's got a good sound. You know what I mean? His beats are always good. The dude's a hip hop. He's a hip hop like historian like myself, and he knows what he's doing, man. And he's mastered his craft. So I've never had anything bad to say about D Lansky, but that was what happened. He tried to check me on the phone because he thought I was talking shit, or maybe he thought I was going to run back what I said. I don't know. But that was our interaction. And I got word after that maybe he was going to try to do something to me out there. There was some people that I knew, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I wasn't really worried about it because I'm like, dude, if people know where I'm at, if it was like that, he wouldn't have to do no underhanded shit like that. I'm sure he's a solid enough dude that if he really wanted something with me, I think he would have told me. And that much I do know, because the folks from where he's from, they're pretty solid cats. You know what I'm saying? But that was my interaction with homeboy on that one. And then another few months later, it was just weird. Another few months later, there's this. I just get this call out of nowhere. Probably about 2.5 months later, I get this call out of nowhere on my phone. I don't recognize the number at all. And I was like, who the fuck is this? So I answer it. And I said, hello. And it's a dude. And he's like, is this Rob D, my dog? I said, who's this? He said, it's Monster D, homeboy. And I was like, yeah, they always, they talk very similar. The street cats, they have very similar lingo and vibration and frequency, you know what I mean, energy. And he's like, he's like, this Rob D, homeboy. I said, yeah, this Rob D. I said, what's up, Monster D? He's like, hey, homeboy, you know what I'm saying? I was locked up with So-So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say my homeboy's name he was locked up with, but he's like, man, I was locked down with So-So. I just got out. That fool told me you're looking for talent, my dog. And I was like, why the fuck that fool do that for? I ain't looking for no talent. I'm kind of like getting knee deep back into the streets and kind of falling away from the music now because the shit fell through with Death Row, and I'm going through a divorce. I'm having a lot of problems with that because this fucking man, the chick I was with, bro, you're on your worst day, your bitch ain't worse than that. I got stories about that, but we'll that's another episode as well. But I was going through a lot at the time, so I was kind of not recording as much as I normally was, and I was just back in the street game doing my thing. Well, I get a call from this dude, and it's Monster D, and he's deceased now. He passed away a few years ago, so rest in peace to him. But at the time, he was very much alive, and he was very much full of energy. And he called me, and that was our, back and forth real quick. And he's telling me, yeah, So-So, the homeboy, told me, you're looking for talent, my dog, and I'm the baddest motherfucking rapper in the town. I've been rapping in the pen for years already. Motherfuckers know me all in the prison system. You know, I'm respected. I'm a real motherfucker. I ain't fake. I ain't like one of these fake ass motherfuckers that ain't never been to prison, is what he told me. And I was like, I kind of took a, like he's taking a shot at me, right? And he's like, I'm real about my shit. You know what I mean? I've been rapping from cells for years. Motherfuckers know who I am. Monster D, homeboy, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, banging on me. And I'm like, that's what's up, bro. And he's like, you don't bang, huh? I said, no, I ain't a banger, bro. I said, I don't bang like that. He's like, well, that's what's up, homie. Well, you know what I'm saying? They told me he was looking for talent, and you know what I'm saying? And he didn't really let me speak after that. He said, so I heard you was looking for talent, and to be honest, I ain't trying to be nobody's rapper, and ain't nobody gonna make my money off me. I'm the dopest motherfucking rapper there is out here. Can't nobody fuck with me. I got this thing called the MIGA movement. MIGA with an M, MIGGA. And I said, MIGA movement. He goes, Mexicans in the ghetto gangster area. And I was like, I wasn't really feeling that. But he's still talking. But as he said it, I wasn't feeling it. And he's like, I got the MIGA movement. That's mine. It's going to blow up. I'll go platinum in my first week. Can't nobody fuck with me. I'm a hard motherfucker. I walked every yard in this motherfucker. And, you know, I'm a banger. And I've been banging since I was 12 years old. And he's just like, it's just Crip Mac before Crip Mac. Crip Mac on steroids. If you really want to have a relation to it, the energy, Crip Mac on steroids. So he's just talking, and then he goes into a deal proposal with me. Like, he hasn't let me say a fucking word after this. After I spoke a little bit, and then he took over. Yeah, so I heard you were looking for talent, and blah blah blah, and went on. He then gets to this part where he's like, "How much is your company worth?" And I said, my company? He goes, yeah, your little rap company, because I seen your CDs, I heard them and shit, but I'm tight, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tight one. I'm dope with my shit. You know, he just basically telling me my shit sucks. And he's like, so how much you got invested in your shit, dog? I said, like 80 grand altogether. I said, like 80 grand, bro. And he goes, all right, then I'm coming in your company, and I'm going to drop my first album on your company, but you got to give me 20 racks up front. Give me 20 racks up front before I even drop one track. And then I'm gonna own half of your company. And that's how we're gonna do it, homeboy. And as he said that, I was just like, what the hell did this fool just tell me? That he's what? And I said, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, homeboy, that's how we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You say your company's worth 80 grand. I'm coming in, it's gonna be 40 grand that you gotta cut me in, but off the top, you need to drop me 20 grand straight off top before I even do anything. And I said, where did you get that I needed anybody, that I need anyone else? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah. He's like, well, the homeboy whoop-de-whoop told me you need talent and you got this and that. So if you got it like that, then pop me in, because we're going to blow up. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? You're going to blow up with me. And I said, nah, bro, it don't work like that. So I ain't looking for nobody. And he's like, what the fuck you mean you ain't looking for no? I said, I ain't looking for nobody, and I don't need anybody, but I'm doing my own thing. I said, I don't mix with certain shit, because see, you got to understand, I turned down a lot of ideas and collaborations with certain individuals in my town strictly because they were hardcore gangbangers and had themselves marked like that. But people can look at me and be like, oh, you a fake motherfucker because you won't do this, you won't do that. Nah, man. I never banged on the street. I drug dealt. I dealt my drugs. My family banged, but that didn't mean I was never involved in any shit. I was involved in a lot of things because of my family being what they were, and because I was in the street dealing dope and had ties to a lot of different people. So I'm just like, wow, this fool really saying he's gonna take what I got from me? What the fuck's he saying, right? And I said, nah, bro, it don't work like that. I ain't doing none of that. I said, why would I give you $40,000 of my own money? He goes, because when I come in, my shit's gonna be dope as fuck, and I'm owning half of this company. Your half of your company is mine now. Just told me like that, like trying to strong arm me, right? And I was like, what the fuck? I said, nah, bro, it ain't going down like that. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I said, with all due respect, bro, it don't work like that. I don't know where you get off thinking I got to give you anything. I don't have to give you nothing. Did you give me anything to start up what I started with when I started with $50 about 12, 13, 14 years ago and built it up to what it is today? Clientele, piece by piece by piece by piece over the years, the old school way of dealing in drugs, not this, the way these motherfuckers, the plug and all. Nah, nah. the old school way where we had longevity and we built that shit up from one day one all the way to 15, 20 years later, piece by piece, client by client, built what they call clientele. And a lot of motherfuckers never had to build clientele. And a lot of fools tried it and never could. But anyway, so back to so this dude knows all this about me. It's starting to click. Oh, he knows a lot about me. Somebody done told him. So the homeboy that told me he was locked up with, he really didn't do me. We were close, but he didn't really do me a solid by whatever he was telling dude about me, because it made this dude think that he could just come and he could just punk me for whatever I had. So when I'm telling him that it ain't going like this and I ain't giving nobody anything, he gets pissed. He's like, "Oh, really, homeboy? Is that how it works?" I said, "That's exactly how it works." I said, "That's exactly how it works, Sister Jean." Or what, I'll call her back. I said, "That's exactly how it works, bro." I said, I don't owe nobody nothing. Nobody gave me anything to you know, to start anything. No one helped me build anything. No one given me. I've done this all by myself over the years. And you guys, you want me just to cut you in on it and give you some money? And he's like, "It's all good. It's all good, my dog. Don't even trip on it, my dog. I'll see you really, really soon." I said, "Is that right?" He goes, "Yeah, that's right, my dog. All right, it's whatever, dog." And he a few nights later, um, hold on, I gotta pause this real quick. Gotta pause it. All right, back once again. My bad. I just had to take care of something real quick. But yeah, so like a few days later, we had been drinking earlier that day, and I was asleep. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I was asleep at my apartment off of White and Clark, right there by the bingo market, right there by the bingo market. I mean, like Clark and Belmont area. And my brothers used to watch my apartment while I slept. My brothers and the homeboys next door from the 100 block, Calaveras homeboys, all the little homies out there. There were a gang of them. There was a mob of them fools. And we were always cool. We used to sometimes party together. I used to sell them a gang of fucking chronic. How these motherfuckers got the bomb, man, whatever. Hell yeah, for sure. But I was asleep, and I always had my brothers watch my apartment while I slept. And my sister lived there with us with my nephews and nieces. And it's like 1:30. We've been drinking earlier that day. We're passed out. I'm passed out. And all of a sudden, my brother's waking me up in the window. He's banging on the window. He's like, "Rob, get up, get up." And I'm like, fuck. I'm like fucking dead ass asleep. And I go, "What's going on, bro?" I'm fucking, I'm fucked up and I'm sleeping. He goes, "This fool Monster D just pulled up outside. Him and another homeboy, they're in a Monte Carlo. And he said he wants to talk to you." He goes, "Did that fool call you and tell you he was coming?" I said, "I didn't even know that fool knew where we lived." And he goes, "Oh, you didn't what?" My brother was like, "Wait a minute." I guess because he made it sound like, I guess when he talked to my brother, he made it sound like I knew he was coming over. So this fool just shows up at my house, right? And I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck?" So I get up, I grab my little 9mm from the closet, and I stand by the window, and I can kind of see through the corner up the drive-through at the end, right? I can kind of see the interaction, but I can't hear nothing. And I'm kind of looking, and my brother walks up to him and tells him something, and dude's like making hand gestures like he ain't leaving or something like that. And my brother comes back and he goes, "Hey, bro, this fool said he ain't leaving till you come out." And I said, "You tell that fool to call me. You tell that fool to call me." And so my brother goes back and my phone rings. And from what I remember, he's like, "Hey, homeboy, blah, 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 whatever, whatever." I said, "Hey, bro, I don't know. I didn't know you knew where I lived, and let alone showing up at this time of the night at my house, bro. I don't know about you guys, but I go to sleep on a regular time. I don't appreciate people just showing up at my house that I don't really know because I ain't never met you in person, bro." He's like, "Well, that's the thing, my dog. I kind of do whatever I want, oh boy, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's all good. I'm gonna leave, dog, but I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back maybe tomorrow, the day after, but we're gonna chop it up. I want to talk to you face to face like a man." I said, "No problem. Come back anytime in the daytime and make sure it's not late at night like this because it's a fucking problem." He's like, "Yeah, whatever, my dog. I'll catch you." I said, "All right." Boom, he bounced. That was the last time I seen or heard from him. Right? Last time I seen or heard from him. And fast forward about 4 years after that, we're looking about '08, '09, somewhere like '09. So about 5 years. Not really recording as much, but just here and there. But I'm not really in the music. I'm still doing my thing in the streets in terms of making money, dealing dope, or whatever. There's a lot of shit going on. One of these nights, I was kind of coming out of my sister's house. She lived off of Olive right there by the before you get to the canal on Olive, in between Fresno Street and Blackstone. She lived right there off to the right before you get to the corner right there. And I was coming out and there was these two dudes standing out there. And I see one and I recognize him like outside my fence. It's dark and I got a pit bull with me. Uh, my blue pit I had, Baby. She was a bad bitch. She was quiet, bro. She wouldn't make no noise and she'll just get at your ass. So she's standing next to me as I walked outside because I heard something and I look and I see the homeboy Dose and I see another dude with him. And he's like, "Hey, dog, do want to talk to you." You know what I'm saying? They told me that, you know what I'm saying? "I'm sorry, dog, but they made me bring him over here because they want to holler at you." I said, "I don't even know this dude right here. I didn't know him." He's like, "Well, I want to holler at you, homeboy." And I was like, "Well, what's up?" Basically, dude starts telling me that I need to start kicking money up. That I need to start giving money to the homies that are locked up, which these ain't my homies. I ain't never had no interactions with none of these dudes. But they know I live in their hood and I've been living in their hood for years, but I'm the one running everything around there. Me and my family members and friends, we're the ones really running everything around there, making all the money, doing whatever the fuck we want, getting into all kinds of shit out there, kind of just running amok, being very, very wild. And a lot of people seeing it and they see that we really don't give a shit. And, you know what I'm saying? We're out there like that. Um, he basically starts telling me that I got to kick up money, and if I don't kick up money, there's going to be a problem because the homeboys up top that they need some dough and they want some dough because they know I'm making money off the hood. And I said, "I'm sorry, bro, but I ain't making no money off the hood." I said, "Matter of fact, I make maybe like $100 off of this hood. All my customers are everywhere, bro, and I don't serve nickels and dimes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I serve chunks. I don't deal with fucking smokers, bro. I deal with dealers. So I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about," is what I told him. He's a big, tall youngster, had black gloves on and shit. We're in the dark in my pit. She's sitting right next to me and she's staring right at him. She's just looking at him like that. And you can see he had a pistol in his waistband. He had a pistol. You can see it under the fucking. He had like a sweater on, like a hoodie with a jersey over it, and you can see he had a pistol in his waistband. It's pretty visible. I was standing right in front of him. And so he tells me that, and I said, I ain't got no money for nobody, bro. Ain't nobody ever gave me nothing. The same thing I told the homeboy over there. I told him, I said, "Ain't nobody gave me nothing, bro. What the fuck? Like, why are all these people starting to hit me up like this, right?" Well, I told dude I ain't giving them nothing. I don't know what they're talking about. He's like, "All right, then." That's all he said. He's like, "All right, then." He turned around, they left. The homeboy Dose apologized to me for bringing him over here, but they made him, whatever. I said, "Whatever, bro. I ain't tripping." He left. A couple days after that, I was leaving my house with a half ounce of cocaine to go drop it off, and I started getting tailed by some undercovers. I hit a few streets in the hood, went up through the tracks, down there to Lewis, parked my truck. I was being followed by an unmarked, parked my '71 Chevy pickup, a white one. I got a gas can that I had in the bed of the truck. Started walking. Before I got out of the truck, I had put the half ounce of coke. I cheaped it. Anybody knows what that term is, then you know what it is. I cheaped it. I had nowhere else to put it. I couldn't leave it in the truck and walk because then if they got me and brought me back to the truck and searched the truck, they're gonna find it. So I had to have it on my person. So if they find it on me, they find it on me. But I just took that chance. And I get out of the truck, grab the gas can, and I act like I ran out of gas. And I start walking down Lewis toward Fresno Street from the tracks. I'm going east. And they're just following me. I'm on the sidewalk walking. They're following me, cruising and shit. And finally, I just stop and I turn around and I say, "Hey, what's up, man? You guys got a problem with me or something? Because you guys are following me." And they both stop in the street, get out of the car, and they come walking up to me. and it's a Mexican cop undercover, and it's a white cop, and they're probably like in their 40s and shit. The Mexican cop was cool. The white dude was a fucking asshole. The Mexican cop says, "Hey man, we don't want any trouble. We just noticed that you were trying to like evade us, you know." And I said, "Well, why are you guys following me? I don't know who the fuck you guys are. You're not in a cop car." I said, "I didn't know who the fuck." He's like, "Well, why are you so paranoid?" I said, "Bro, this neighborhood is crazy right here. I grew up in this neighborhood. I don't trust nobody following me." And he just looked at me like that. He goes, "Do you mind if we search you right now?" I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, we got probable cause. You're in a gang-related area." I said, "I live here and I'm not on drugs. I'm not drunk or anything. And I'm not on parole. I've never been to prison and I don't got no gang tattoos on me." And the white cop looks at me. He says, "Look, motherfucker, if you don't let us search you, we're taking your ass straight up to jail and then we'll search you in there. How about that?" And I looked at him and I put my hands up, had the gas can, put it down, put my hands up. I said, "All right." I said, "Go ahead, man. Search me, whatever." They go, they're searching me, grabbing me on my nuts and everything. He goes, he feels my butt like that, runs his fingers a little bit through my cheeks, but not all the way in. And he goes twice, 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 like he knows I got something on me. And he's like, "Man, he don't got nothing. He's clean." I said, "I don't got shit, bro. What the fuck?" He goes, "No, no, no. Search him. He has to have it." Somebody told them. They had been watching me. Somebody told them I had dope. So, anyways, long story short, they didn't find it because they didn't check in my cheeks. They left. Walked all the way to Fresno and all of to the Circle D from Lewis and the tracks. Went, actually got gas, walked all the way back there, following me block to block. Um, Made it all the way back. When I got all the way back to the truck, they were nowhere around. I jumped in the truck, smashed off, went back home, got all the stuff in the house, buried it in the backyard, and took off to my cousin's out in the boonies, to my cousin's ranch out in the boonies to get the fuck away from there. But you see, the motherfuckers that wanted me to pay rent, they were also confidential informants and had been for many, many, many years. So when I said I wasn't going to pay them anything, what did they do? They sicked the cops on me. Because after that, I had a few more altercations with the police just within a matter of days when I was home. They came in, searched the house. They found weed and a pistol. But guess what? They didn't even trip off that. They wanted coke. Somebody told them I had coke. They had to see the pistol. They had to see the quarter pound of weed in the closet. They fucking had us in the living room, all that shit. My dog was inside the house so she wasn't barking. Man, them fools try to get me so bad. But see, you got to be careful with these dudes in these streets with all this money and nowadays and the image and all this shit. A lot of these dudes you think are solid because they've been in and out of prison, they got tattoos or whatever, they're affiliated, whatever. A lot of these cats are solid, but then a lot of them are dirtier than a motherfucker and they work with the police and been working with the police. Just look around. Just look around. You can see it. I'm just telling you from what the fuck I know. What the fuck I know. I seen pictures before of shit and I was like, what the fuck? You fucking serious? But anyways, that is damn, I've been talking for that long, huh? A whole fucking hour. Jesus, I think that's too long, but for everyone that's gonna watch this and stay with it, I appreciate it. This has been the Fresno Gangster Rappers. Check me. They check me, or did they check me, or didn't they check me? You decide. It doesn't matter. We know what the truth is. The truth is what I'm giving you. 100%, nothing more, nothing less. No additives, no preservatives. All authentic, and we're gonna give it to you real. We're gonna be against the grain sometimes, but that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't how you cut, it's just cutting. Simple as that. And if you're gonna cut against the grain, it's gonna be against the grain, but at least you're gonna cut. So I appreciate you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Raw and Uncut, episode 5. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace.